Hey guys, me Dave. It's Friday night. Uh, I don't know what the date is. I know Sunday's the first, so it must be 27th. So I want to talk about how stupid these guys are in my program. How they have absolutely no idea what they're doing. Now I've been in the program really since about 2012. I've been in the program 50 years, but it kind of started more overtly in 2012. Um, Believe it or not, I was getting street theater 40 years ago, 35 years ago, But so I just want to talk about how dumb these people are. Lately, I've been going through this for 4 nights. My patience is wearing out. They come in, torture your feet, your legs. They're kicking your legs all over the place. Totally have a legitimate excuse to go to the hospital, right? I mean, totally. My complaints are real, aren't they? I'm not lying. My legs are jerking, my feet are ice cold, my legs feel numb. I totally have a legitimate reason to go to the ER. Isn't that an emergency? I seen the neurologist. It's not getting better, right? So they're so stupid. Like, I'm not. I don't know a lot about the intelligence agencies. You have some common sense type of stuff. I did research, watched videos, and stuff like that, right? So, you know, the purpose of torture is to get information. Well, obviously, these people they're just predators, you know, preying on innocent people, right? Well, I don't have a criminal record. Not more than a speeding ticket. But if you're in an intelligence agency and you have a detainee who is, well, if you know he's a terrorist that wants to hurt us, our people, you know, um, you torture them to get information that's going to protect the U.S., right? That's the goal, right? Uh, there's a lot of torture techniques, isolation. They could put you in a black, box basically, um, until uh, they're isolated. And I mean, I suppose it's a form of torture. Put them in isolation in a box long enough to see if they give up information. They give up a little piece of information. You give them a little food. Well, the guy likes food, so he doesn't want to starve to death. Let him suffer a little bit more in isolation. Give him a little more food. You know, see if he gives up some more information, stuff like that, right? So the whole goal is to uh, get information, which I don't. A lot of people agree torture doesn't work. You know, so when they used to experiment on heroin addicts, and they would torture them, and then they would reward them. Let them get high at the end of the day on heroin, right? Like TIs. Now these guys don't know what the hell they're doing. I mean, you can tell. Yeah, they don't know what they're doing. They're torturing you. You don't get any rewards, you know, for they've been torturing me all day long. They'll torture me for 11 hours if I don't go to the hospital. What's my reward? I don't get any rewards. You know, they took them all away. You know, I used to get max on the weekends. They took that away. That would be considered a reward. Uh, you know, I used to have a beer. Uh, they took that away. I used to have good credit. They took that away. I used to have my driver's license. They took that away. Since I've been in here, they wanted me to freeze to death. They tortured me for grocery shopping. Well, what's the incentive for me but to go to bed and wake up and be miserable again? I owe the hospital thousands of dollars. I owe the ambulance thousands of dollars. Do you think I give a shit if I go to the hospital right now? What's the incentive for me not to go? What's the incentive? Why should I stay here and be tortured? What do I get out of it? I get no sleep, and I gotta go through the same shit again tomorrow. What is the incentive for me not going to the hospital? Now, I think there's two groups. I think there's a group watching these people and me, and then they give voices to my family members to tell them what to say. Controlled conversations. Now, I think they kind of know a little more about what's going on. Because they'll have my mom. They'll have my mom. Oh, go get him a pizza. He was thinking about pizza today. Bring him a pizza. He was thinking about getting Oreo cookies today. Bring him some Oreos. You know, well, they're kind of showing, well, yeah, we're reading your mind, but we're kind of rewarding you. Here's a little reward. Do you know what I mean? For putting up with all the shit you're putting up with. The tortures, they don't care. Donald Trump could be sleeping in the living room. They don't care. The head of the CIA could be in the bathroom right now. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about nobody, but they sure want to be protected. And they want that paycheck. But they don't give a shit. They're traitors to our country. They hate our country. They hate us. But they like that paycheck. They like the free drugs and alcohol and hookers. So they get rewarded. And I get nothing, including food and heat. And isolation. I can't go outside. So what's the incentive for me to not go to the hospital when I'm being hurt? There is none. You might get a little break and then come back home and get tortured more. But what's, go to bed, wake up and go through it again, all over again. I've been trying to walk last few days. They're hating me like crazy. Trying to walk is, not overdoing it, but 100, 200 steps last few days, So I mean, I don't have any information, but I'm following the rules like I'm supposed to. I'm not causing a big scene. I'm not telling everybody in the building I'm being tortured. I'm not uh, calling 911 only when I'm being hurt. I'm taking my medications. I'm following the rules, and I get no rewards, no incentives. Now, 10 years ago, I got tortured for about 9 months really hard. After that, after I went through that big thing, they kind of let me go for a number of years. I was still being tortured, but I was getting rewarded. Pretty girls all over the place. I could go camping. I was able to get my credit back to perfect. Actually, it's the first time in my life I had really good credit. I still had my Class A license. I got Tanner. I was being tortured, but I was being rewarded. It balanced out to where it was tolerable. Now, they took everything away. Everything away. It's like, do you think I give a shit if I get another $3,000 bill? I don't give a shit. You want to send me to the hospital? Do it. Let's just do it and get it over with. I got the doctor coming on Monday. Everyone's acting weird. I don't know what's going on. So they don't know what they're doing. They really don't. I don't know if it's the same guys 3 years ago, or if they hit you, like say they give you diarrhea, you take a pill, they stop. They give you heartburn, you take a pill, they stop. They let you get better. These guys don't do that. I mean, I went to the ER and so many doctors, and it was over a year, and they're like, well, we're just gonna have to say we don't know what it is. We don't know what's wrong with you. You know. So it just, you know, and they're kind of doing the same thing with the walking, except now I think the torturers don't want you to walk. They don't want you to have your freedom back. I think other people do. Like, hey, he's been like this for a year. He's been stuck inside for a year. Can't see his dogs. I hope they want me to walk, but we're getting 3 weeks of therapy, and you're really not getting anywhere except walking to the kitchen and back. And if I take a nap, I'll walk from the living room to the bed and back. But as soon as I lay down, go to bed. But you can't sleep. They're torturing the hell out of my legs every night. That's 4 nights. So, what's the incentive? Why should I be a good boy and keep my mouth shut and just lay here and torture the hell out of me, and I won't go to the hospital? What's the incentive for me? Suffer? Death? Kill? Because that's what they want to do. No rewards. No. You get tortured if you order food. Candy bars off Amazon, you get tortured. You're not allowed to have anything you enjoy. You're not even allowed to smile or laugh at something on TV. So what's the incentive? It doesn't. what I'm trying to say is these are not CIA black ops or FBI black ops, or they're not from any intelligent agency. They would go into a mission and get everyone blown up. That's what I'm saying. Uh, you know, so that's what's going on. And see if we end up in the hospital again. I don't think we're gonna make it through the weekend. I really don't. So I'll talk to you guys later.